And thank you, everyone, for your patience. In this next, we would like to say, groundbreaking workshop on procurement assistance, working with the Government of Canada and Ontario. We are excited about what Manny will be able to invest in all of us. We have a couple of other guests joining them as well. That's Dolores Sui. She's a supply specialist. We have Ronnie Khalil, who's a procurement specialist, and Tyler Van Donk, who also is a procurement team lead. And we're really excited about this for a couple of reasons. It's growth and growth and growth. And it will help you expand into markets, i.e. the government, that you may not have yet considered or tapped into.
Welcome to the Procurement Assistance Canada seminar about our seminars that we do offer and other support that we give in Ontario region. My name is Tyler Van Donk. I am a procurement team leader at Procurement Assistance Canada. I'm joined today by my colleagues Ronnie and Dolores. We are going to be giving you guys some information on the seminars that we do offer and other support that we have, and just some general information on Procurement Assistance Canada. So this presentation is being presented today by Procurement Assistance Canada. Procurement Assistance Canada, or PAC, was created as part of Public Services and Procurement Canada's support to smaller and diverse businesses in the federal procurement process. PAC's role is to engage with businesses, to insist and inform them on how to sell their goods and services to the Government of Canada, and to work to reduce procurement barriers in an effort to ensure fairness in the process. We do this by listening to concerns, answering questions, helping them understand the procurement process, and by also helping them identify opportunities that would be of interest to them. So we do this by providing several different services. We have several different seminars that we do offer that really aim to clarify and help suppliers understand the federal procurement process. We are going to kind of give you an overview today of some of those offerings that we have in the Ontario region. We also have our one-on-one support sessions, which are typically on Wednesdays, but we can easily accommodate other time slots. We also operate the 1-800 National Info Line for suppliers who have questions about the procurement process and the tools. Procurement Assistance Canada does have offices located across the country. And you can, these offices could be really instrumental in helping small businesses really identify potential government clients in those areas. So if you do operate in those areas, we would really suggest reaching out to those regional offices. But if you are having some difficulty with that, Ontario region can always point you in the direction of those people. But just to kind of highlight the regions, there is the Pacific region, which provides services to both British Columbia and the Yukon. There is Western region, which services Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and both the Northwest Territories and Nunavut. Ontario region, which covers both Southern and Northern Ontario. The National Capital Region, which kind of takes the overall role in program delivery and stuff like that. There's the Quebec region, and then there's the Atlantic region, which covers Newfoundland and Labrador, Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. So next, my colleague Ronnie is going to talk to you about the one-on-one sessions.
Thank you very much, Tyler. So our one-on-one sessions are on Wednesdays at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., or selected when required. A one-on-one session with our specialists provides specific information and guidance on the federal government's procurement process. These sessions complement information from webinars and are both confidential and free. While we're unable to support specific requirements that are publicly posted, we can help you connect with the contracting authorities. These webinars provide you with key information about how to do business with the Government of Canada and introduce some tools to get you started. Designed primarily for audiences who have little exposure to the Government of Canada's procurement process, we host these webinars on the first Wednesday of the month from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. They provide a good overview and a starting point to introduce the federal procurement process. Registration for all webinars is free. Our objectives are to explain the procurement process, how to register a supplier, build networks, both research and find opportunities, bid on opportunities, and the security screening process. We introduce GETS, the Government Electronic Directory Services, and demonstrate how it can be used to locate federal government employees by name, organization, contact information, or title. Building these networks are instrumental in the low-dollar buys we engage smaller businesses within. My colleague Dolores will further explore supply methods, including this particular one here.
Thank you, Ronnie.
We also-
Oh, sorry.
Next slide, Tyler, thank you. We also introduced buyandSell.gc.ca, the authoritative source for government procurement information, along with the benefits of using it, demonstrating ease of access to use this free source, search capabilities. We show users how plain language, goods and services identification numbers, GSINs that is, or United Nations Standard Products and Services Codes, UNSPSCs, can be used to find opportunities. Availability of previous contract notices to find buying trends and develop business strategies, managing notification capabilities to access new opportunities once published. And with that, we conclude the Doing Business webinar, and I'll be handing it over to my colleague, Dolores. Thanks.
Thank you, Ronnie. I was a little bit fast. So the second seminar we offered is Bidding on Opportunities. This seminar is based on the knowledge you learned from the very first one Ronnie just talked about. It's in-depth learning. So when you look at the federal procurement, you decide this is your interest area. Next thing for you probably to think about is how will I be able to do it, and look at the federal government tender opportunity. Sometimes you could think it's a little bit long, overwhelming. So we offer this seminar to help you to address this kind of a question and common interests. The session is usually on the Wednesday, the second Wednesday of the month, 2 hours. I will, or my colleagues will take you through the documents from what type of, through the objective, like overall, as the federal government, what kind of a procurement you will see, what type of procurement we will have, such as we have a competitive one, we have a non-competitive one. In what situation we have a competitive one, and with the competitive procurement process, what kind of a document usually you will see, what kind of a jargon you will see, and we can help you to understand those much better. And because at the very beginning, when you first to get into the federal procurement or broader public sector procurement area, you probably feel like a lot of new words come to you, so you couldn't decide what is what. So our explanation, first of you, to help you to pass through this learning curve a little bit easier, know those words, and also understand how we structure our federal government tender document. And you will be able to understand from which part, what you expect to have, and what that means to you. How should you respond to them? First of all, as a federal procurement, we try to promote fair, open, transparent. So a lot of procurement, like our $25 billion worth of market, a lot of contracts are done, large amount of a dollar value are done through competitive process. And for those tenders, we have some major different ones, like invitation to tender. Those are very small, relatively small dollar value, and they're really good for small business to compete on. And usually people being successfully because of they have the lowest price, suppliers compete on the price. And as long as you meet all those mandatory requirements. And the second type is the one more complex one called RFP. Those are the ones we have a procurement process from the beginning to the end. Usually for us to buy something more complex or dollar value are much higher, and something is unique, we don't buy them often. So in those instances, we utilize RFP to procure. Most of all, in the end, we get a best value for the crown. So in this kind of scenario, we probably won't go with lowest price. So we will teach you about different terminologies, and also through that, we will be able to help you to actually look at them in more in-depth way to help you to understand each part of those documents, what you need to do. And for our procurement, generally speaking, for goods over $25,000 and for services over $40,000, we try to do them through compatible process. So besides the invitation to tender I just mentioned, we have this request for proposal, and we have a request for standing offer and request for supply arrangement. For the last two types, why federal government have a more terminology here is it's just not where complex the situation is, really because of the needs. Because for federal government procurement, we're bounded by a lot of trade agreement. Those are considered as a law. So we will have to put the tender on our tender website, buy and sell for minimum of days. After the tender close, we will be able to do evaluation, then award a contract. So the process, it takes some time. However, for our day-to-day operation, our 120, 30 department agencies, they will need the product or services, not say right away, but have to be efficient, effectively reach the delivery point. And like, for example, for D&D, they will need those supply to help soldiers to practice. So for Park Canada, they will need landscaping services to maintain the park to allow visitors to have a good experience. So those are things like that. We need things right away. So we do this request for standing offer, request for supply arrangement. Those are two-phased process. As a supplier, you bid and you qualify into this exclusive pool. And after that, when we need a supplier to supply on a particular project, we will go to the pool to call for, to find a supplier from the pool to supply to us. The procurement process will be much faster. So the first phase is set up the framework. So those are the concepts for you. And for our procurement, first time you see it, you probably think the document-wise is quite long. So our buy and sell for those procurement, we all have a tender notice. From the tender notice, you will have a brief description of what this procurement is. And over there, you will see contracting officers information. All those contracting authority, they are the authoritative person to answer your question. You review the document, they're all downloadable, they're all free on our tender website. You can download them and take a look. Obviously, at the very first time when you see those documents, you probably have questions here and there. Circle them out. You can ask the question to the contracting officer. And after you read through them, you will decide whether you should bid on those tender or not. From here, like in the seminar itself, we will tell you a lot of good tips and some good interesting knowledge to help you to make your reading the document faster and more efficient, utilize your time and the resources to look at the tenders. So those are the process. It will take some, that if like, for example, you see 5 interesting tenders on buy and sell, do you really read from the first one to the 5th one from the beginning to the end? No, you actually can do keyword search, because from federal procurement, we actually will doing mandatory we will evaluation based on mandatory requirements. For those mandatory requirements, if you don't meet any of them, the proposal will be put aside. You won't be able to make to the end. So because of that, so what you should do, a tip for you is you should quickly go through those mandatory requirements, do keyword search to take a look at that. If you can meet all of them, yes, this will be a promising one. So you could spend more time on this one. So in such a way, within maybe half-hour time, you can quickly reduce the tenders from that 5, maybe narrow down to 2. So it will dramatically save your time. So through the seminar itself, we will share with you those tips and things we think very efficiently can help you to go get through a document looking for the information you need. And so after you read it, you think, okay, I feel confident. This is really an opportunity for us, for our company. We will help you to know how to collect information. So such as to go to buy and sell, set up email notification, get those amendments, read through those Q&A, understand what kind of question other suppliers ask already, was the contracting authority's answer. That will definitely help you to know what's been happening for this RFP. And so that will be something help you to prepare your proposal. So in that, through that process, you slowly put things together, right? We actually will again show you, okay, what's the best way to get those organized? Where they say they want a sample, okay, what do you need to do? And over there, they say, oh, you need to site visit. There might be a bidder conference requirements. So seminar will actually explain all those important things you need to be aware of when you prepare a proposal. Although we're not providing you with a master template to use to write your proposal, that's not realistic. But 2-hour session, you will learn a lot to make you get a clear mind how to do yours. So in the end, of course, you want to submit your proposal, and in your bids, we will have again a lot of good advice for you to help you to make sure you cover all those little places people tend to make mistakes. So you will have a better chance to be successful. We will also show you examples. So in such a way, you will kind of have a vivid understanding, how federal government do bid evaluation. And that's how you award your contract. Sometimes people talk about concepts is harder to understand, but in the seminar itself, we will show examples. Yeah. So after the bidding opportunity seminar, for some business, if you are in the professional services area, so this seminar can be your interest. This seminar called Supply Professional Services to Government of Canada. For this seminar is usually on the 3rd Wednesday of the month. This one is also 2 hours long. So this session is really important for companies. You are selling professional services, not that much for the goods providers. The reason we have this session is because of government use a lot of services. Some of them, they're from sole proprietors, they're on their own. The others, a few people, they have some expertise knowledge, for example, in HR, so they're supplying to us in those fields. is very, very popular because many people demand this kind of knowledge. So we put up information to have this session. For government, for professional services, we have throughout the year, we find the best way to procure those services, not really through regular RFP, because we use those services so often, so frequently, and in different aspects. So that's bring back the common concept you learn from the seminar one, standing offer and the supply arrangement. Those are very, very very much embedded into this sell professional services to us. We create, so we have a task-based professional services and solution-based. Task-based professional services are more basic, fundamental, supply your knowledge, expertise to us, and your team doesn't have to respond for the end result. You are not on your own. So we have our manager director to lead a team, and we have the scheduling. So that's task-based. Solution-based is more like a private sector's turnkey solutions. In this kind of procurement process, it's very competitive. Usually it's a little bit bigger project. We don't know how to get from here to the end result, but we know we have a vision what we want. So it's up to you to help us to reach that. So that's a major difference. So for all those professional services, we eventually merged a lot of a database to create this called Centralized Professional Services ePortal. This ePortal is very much fundamentally help the supplier and the government buyers, because when we slowly merge many database together, as a supplier, as you, when you sell your professional like editing services to us, you only need to register yourself in CPSS, Centralized Professional Services System once. Then you will be able to apply into different database. So everything based on this ePortal, things get extracted, like your company information, your backgrounds, phone number, everything get extracted from there, save everyone's time. So when you register into this ePortal, of course, all those are free. It's not, we are not really creating barrier. It's just all free services and usage. Bidding our government contract, they're all free too. So you set up your profile on the site, and based on the size of your company and your past experience, you can decide what kind of a database you want to get yourself compete into. So for us, in the seminars, we will explain each database in a lot of details to tell you, okay, what's the process from the beginning to the end, what will you expect at each level, such as the reference check, what that means to you, and how will you prepare for that. What do you need to what do you need to know? How will you tell your referee? How will they prepare for you? And also, such as a timeline. If when you put in the proposal, how long will you be able to hear back from us? And also, if you happen to fail in some area, do you have a second chance? Will you be able to just quickly explain something, submit those information to us? Yeah, all those questions will get answered. So most of the procurement process, we actually go with a cycle, quarterly refreshing cycle. So this time, if you failed, actually you could reapply in the next quarter, and we'll reevaluate you based on where you actually fell behind and a little bit short. So that's what we will do. And also for the supply professional services, we throughout the year, we already create, based on the contract value, we already create the different database for you, such as if your company actually doing architecture engineering work. For smaller dollar contract, architecture engineering probably is a select. Maybe I change the example to IT senior architects. For those people, if just for some small work, if it's under $100,000, you probably will be better to get qualified into pro services. That will be small dollar value contracts. So for larger dollar value, we have another database. So this this particular slice is to show you, okay, what most frequently purchased professional services. To have this slice here, I just want to help you to relate yourself to what we buy. Because as a government, we buy so many different kind of services from different industries. My list can go on for very, very long. So this is just something so common. We buy them so frequently. That's why we have those here. If you see yourself in the list, that's just great. That means we buy large volume from this area. So you can most likely can supply to us if you qualify into our database. And so probably we have those opportunities just in your eye. And also sometimes in private sectors, things are considered as a professional services might not necessarily included in our professional services database. Because, for example, legal services, we use that services, obviously is professional services by what you're doing. However, we don't really have that in our CPSS ePortal, and we have separate database. For whatever category stream listed here, definitely you can find a lot of opportunity in our market. So here we are here again. So what is actually covered in our ePortal? This slide will tell you that. On here, you can see pro services I just mentioned. This one is for contract under about $100,000. Right now, we're seeing 101,600. But again, this is purely because of trade agreement exchange rate. So the dollar for the exactly dollar amount, every 2 years, this number will slightly change. But roughly, that's the threshold. So for a lot of small business, when they started, this is the very good database for them to consider. We have 156 categories in pro services. And so if you apply, you get qualified, you can start to actively use the qualification as a way for you to promote yourself to government buyers. So this is one. And for next one is the TSPS, Task and the Solution Professional Services. And the next one is a task-based informatic professional services. So both two are actually the counterparts to pro services. The only difference between them is they have a large dollar value contract in those database. For TSPS, the second one here is for non-IT professional services. All those category descriptions are same as a pro services, just purely the experience requirement are higher. And it's, for example, they want you to be in business for minimum 3 years. So for pro services, only 1 year. So things like that. And for the other ones for IT, we have to take IT out because for government, we buy millions of dollars of IT services each year. Very dynamic, a lot of interesting projects through this database. If you ever have a chance to go to buy and sell, search tidbits, you will see so many opportunities come up. If you're from IT, if you're from IT business background, I strongly recommend you to take a look at that. So this is that. So later we will have a solution-based, and we will have a learning services. Solution-based is for something more, even more prestigious, more complex in IT world. Learning services for trainings, the government offering a lot of courses to employees, and those courses need to be designed online, in person. So if you are from that industry, there's phenomenal amount of opportunities for you. And professional audit support services, PAS, is also very, very widely used. Government, we're doing a lot of review engagements and compliance audit, meet all those audit general's requests, and the department will have to get through a lot of a process to be sure program are compliant. So yeah, those very, very popular. A lot of companies, small company can actually get qualified and do works too. And temporary help, this is another one just joined into this CPSS. And this one is very, very good one. We have a big category for office admin services, a lot of support work for the office, and also we have also another IT category in this one, and those are more like a lower level related IT work. So this is that. So yeah, so overall, so there's a lot of opportunity for you. I'll pass along to, yes.
Thanks for both of those info on those sessions. The last scheduled seminar that we have each month is our obtaining security clearance session, and it is going to be on the 4th Wednesday of the month, and it's a bit different timing than the other ones. It runs from 1 p.m. till 3 p.m. It's actually presented by a member from the security sector, not an individual from PAC, just because they have a bit more specific information on how that process happens. So the objectives of that security session, it goes through the different checks that you could see. This is really important because some of our government contracts, you could either be working on a good that is controlled and has some type of security, or you could be providing services at a government site that has some type of security. So those personnel would also need to be cleared. So this session, we'll kind of go over the integrity check. That's one part of it, the award process, the industrial security structure. So again, this is another part where there are several different sections that you will need to go through. There's both the organizational and personnel clearance for some, the role of the industrial security, and the contract security requirements. So these are called security requirement checklists that you will see attached to contracts. They will inform you of the level of security that you would need and the process about how you go about obtaining that security. So I'll just kind of give you a couple of highlights from that presentation. One is that structure. So this is a really brief slide here. They do go into a lot more detail, but as you can see, there are several aspects from the oversight branch into the industrial security sector, and then into that actual program with the contract security, the organizational screening, and personnel screening. Another thing that you will see in that presentation is really what the expectation is in that process. So there are several documents that you will see, depending on whether it's just the organizational side of things or personnel clearance. They'll kind of familiarize yourself with those forms so they aren't that daunting when you do kind of pull them up and know where to find and access those during the process. So that's the fourth of the scheduled seminars that we have. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of close out and kind of give you that overview again. So the first Wednesday of the month is the Doing Business with the Government of Canada. That is that high level overview. So organizations that are interested in starting to do business with the Government of Canada, because we are there is that marketplace for lots of different opportunities for small and medium enterprises. That's a good jumping off point. It'll kind of give you a high level overview of that process. Then the second presentation that Dolores talked to you about, the bidding on opportunities, that's really going to go through those solicitation documents and let you know what section, what each section means, what the government is asking for within those sections, and really how to formulate your bid in a way that is going to be cost effective for you and help the government buyers doing the evaluation for that. And then that last one that Dolores talked to you about was this applying professional services. That is a really unique sector within the Government of Canada. So we do utilize a lot of pre-qualified suppliers from both standing offers and supply arrangements. There are several different sections there, and that seminar will really kind of help you target which ones would be best for your business and really help you with figuring out how to qualify into that pre-qualified list and then how to utilize that system to find opportunities. And lastly, that obtaining security clearance. Those are 4 requirements. If you are doing any that have security, I would definitely recommend that one because that process can be a bit complex. We are working on it. However, with our international agreements and stuff like that, there are some things that we do need to do with that process that does add that complexity into it. But attending that session will really help you kind of familiarize yourself with the documents to expedite that process and really help you while working with the contract security sector. So yeah, that's a real high level overview of it. And again, there are those one-on-one sessions. You can sign up for them yourself through our website for the regular time blocks. If those times don't work for you, you can either call the 1-800 number or contact our email address there, and we can kind of look at getting a scheduled appointment for you if the Wednesdays don't work. The last thing I do want to highlight, we have talked about the buyandsell.gc.ca website. The Public Service and Procurement Canada are moving to an electronic procurement system using SAP Ariba. It's a web-based tool that will allow businesses to view and bid on opportunities with the Government of Canada. All procurement that PSPC manages for the Government of Canada will take place on this tool, and you'll need an account in the near future. Canada Buys is gradually going to replace the Buy and Sell website, and bidding will move to SAP Ariba. We're making this transition over time and in phases. Registration is open through Canada Buys. So for more information, please refer to the Getting Started and Resources page on Canada Buys. If you need any technical support, please contact the EPS service desk through the support page on Canada Buys. So as I said, this transition into the electronic procurement solution is happening over time. So To be able to bid on some tenders, you will need to go through SAP Ariba, while others will continue to use the bid submission through the existing method on buyandSell.gc.ca. Where we are currently in this stage is everything that is posted on Canada Buys is cross-posted to Buy and Sell. So that is why I'm telling you that buyandSell.gc.ca is the authoritative source. If you want that one-stop shop, it will then direct you to requirements that are posted on Canada Buys. So that means that you could potentially need to be registered in both SAP Ariba and our supplier registration and information system. You can sign up for more news on Buy and Sell and receive email notifications or Atom or RSS feeds in order to receive the latest news on procurement and website updates. So yeah, if you're not sure what to do, feel free to stop by our booth and talk to someone from PAC. We're always here to help and support you. If you do want to do a bit more research yourself, you can go ahead and register to become a government supplier by downloading the registering in the supplier registration system reference sheet. You can find that under the self-serve references on the website, and by clicking on Learn to navigate the federal procurement process. You can consult our service guide to see how we can help your business. This guide lists our services, our self-serve resources, and are organized by how advanced you are in your bidding journey. You can access this guide on our website by clicking the Explore Services for Small Businesses. Or if you'd like to learn, you would like to continue learning about the procurement process, you can register for our seminars on our website using the event calendar. We recommend following this up with the 3 options of either finding supplying on Buy and Sell, supplying professional services, or bidding on opportunities. And you can also request a call from us by filling out the form with your contact information, and a Procurement Assistance Canada representative will contact you and discuss how we might be of assistance. So yeah, that's a quick snapshot on the seminars and some of the services that we do offer in the at Procurement Assistance Canada. We are always happy to help small and medium enterprises. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to stop by our booth again or by contacting us to arrange a one-on-one session. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. I would like to thank Mr. Manny and the entire team for presenting this groundbreaking workshop on Procurement Assistance Canada seminars and support in Ontario region. I would request all the attendees to visit their booth to learn more about how to sell to the Government of Canada and to learn about what are the PAC services that are there and the summary of different seminars that they are offering on a monthly basis. Thank you.